But that's at their end, isn't it? Not at our end. The inconsistency of the data rate. Yeah.
So please, all the players who are not involved in team order or the stop, they should go on the stand.
I know a lot of these
And we'll start with Team USA.
So welcome back to the coverage. We're going to go through both the teams now. For the USA first.
That's Anchi Su from the Bay Area, plays with University of California, Berkeley, and the Polar Bears, the reigning national champion team. From Los Angeles. From Connecticut and played with Backhoe as her last team. Errol's also from the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area. That's Greg Malyarv, and he is also from Polar Bears and the San Francisco Bay Area. That's June. I can't say her last name either, but she played with Zeitgeist and also from the Bay Area. Lisa Pithgary, also from the Polar Bears and from the San Francisco Bay Area. That's Prof. Mike McGurk, has played a lot in Europe and in the Bay Area, also from Berkeley. Sally Mims, also from the San Francisco Bay Area. Sam's also from LA. Tyler Grant, the one revolver player here at the tournament. David Hammond captained the last mixed team at Beach Worlds. Steve Dugan, one of the longtime Open stars from Condors in Santa Barbara.
We're going to see a big line for the Germans here. They've brought out 4 more players than the USA. And they're going to have quite a lot of support from the neutral fans out here.
All enormous.
It's a physically very, very tall team. So Alex Verst in the 21 shirt. And 33 is Anita van Barneveld. Number 2, Annika Paran. Arnie Rausch, number 19. Daniel Zoomstein in the 79 shirt, broad-shouldered Daniel. Daniela Sprunk, you can't miss her. Number 10, Ferdinand Haas. Inge Jonsson, the 24. Janne Lepthin. Karolina Jatska. Lisa Kalfus. You're going to see a lot of Kalfus out there. Very distinctive blonde hair. Margit Muller. Marvellous Marvin Horter. Mel Schlock. We've seen her play all over Europe. And Mickey Schulenberg. Nicholas Fink, another one of their rapid action guys in the 41 shirt. Richard Stevenson. Rob Schumacher, the blonde hair, turning out for Great Britain, which is his where he's currently Sylvester Pritzpia. And number 13, Rue Vitale.
Everybody knows Rue.
Everyone knows Rue.
Even in America, we know Rue because he comes out to lay out every year to play with the Woodies. So he's a very well-known face around the beach ultimate circuit. He's heavily involved in the Sexpensive gang, Paganello Meisters. And the two teams slap hands. These two teams haven't played each other this tournament so far, and the Germans, we saw them play against Australia midweek in this arena, and they looked incredible. They didn't make a single error on O, not a single turnover.
and they scored all of their O points. And then on D, as soon as they got the disc, I think we saw 2 unforced errors all game on their offensive points when they got a turnover on D. So some very, very clinical play. Now, I talked to them afterwards, and they said that's actually unusual. They were very pleased with the way they played in their game against Australia, but that's not their typical sort of stats that they're pushing out. But they were happy with the way they played, and so a strong side for the Germans. And
then this American team is predominantly from the Pacific Northwest, predominantly from actually the San Francisco Bay Area, with a really large showing from the Polar Bears, which are the defending national champion mixed team. It also has, like I said, it's got the only player from Revolver here at the tournament, Tyler Grant, and it's got a number of other strong players on mixed and some women's teams as well. So this is probably the most representative of what an actual a top-level mixed team from America is like, of any of the teams here at the tournament.
Oh, it's interesting to see the face of Tyler Grant out here. We've seen him in Europe a number of times before at Paganello, so he's clearly got experience on the Italian sand.
And Mike Prof McGurk lived both in Spain for a year and in Italy for a year, so he's also very well known. He also plays with Sexpensive, by the way.
Oh, McGurk plays with the Sexpensive as well.
Yeah. So he's well known in Europe as well.
Sexpensive is a sort of superstar team from all over the world. Oh, so Liz, what do you think the outcome of this game is going to be? Do you think the German offensive stability is going to take it, or the American pace?
I really can't say, because it's... I know, talking to the Europeans, they all think the Germans are going to win, and the Germans are certainly a very strong team. But knowing this American team, it's also a strong team, and it's one of the strongest teams that I think that has been sent here. And it's hard to say. It's a very athletic team. But this German team really knows what it's doing. They've done this for so long. They know each other so well. And it should be an interesting matchup. My guess is they're going to be a lot more clinical and textbook. And the American team's going to be a bit more of individual talent. And we'll see how it all comes together.
So Germans starting on offense in their white. And the USA playing in blue. You're watching the mixed final from the World Championships of Beach Ultimate in Lignano Sabbiadoro, and straight away 41 shirt of Fink. Rue Vittel, tall, he jacks it into the wind. It's going to be Fink underneath it, but pressure from the US, and a great grab out there from a number 11.
76 is Adam Rathgary now with the disc from Polar Bears. Sorry, that's you.
And the US flowing now to 11, Kolniak passes over the top of Fink. Ratty. He's got no options forward. Everything's being marked out. And number 21, Alexander Wurst, preventing anything going across the other side of the pitch. It's difficult to see the options opening up for the USA downfield at the moment. The German defense very hard. Liz Willits cutting, but she gets looked off. It's back in the hands of Kolniak again. Floats over the top. Willits now with the disc just outside the end zone. Number 6 passes it to her. Oh! Just so close. It was a huge, huge layout bid.
From Lisa Pipkelly, who is about 19 years old. She was a youth. She was in the first youth championship team from out of the Bay Area and played with Polar Bears last year. And she's up and coming, a really great player, but she just couldn't quite get that disc after laying out.
The German Fink going to the sand again to get that one up. Kalfus coming down the line now. A nice grab from Kalfus, being a little bit horsed by Willits there, but I'm sure she'll be living with that. A double tap off from the Germans, keeping the disc alive and needing to do so as well. They've got 3 male handlers back there now. The Germans looking a little bit tired already at the end of this first point. Kalfus coming back underneath now, but not quick enough to get away from Willits. Willits keeping up with her. And Kalfus looking a little bit uncomfortable there. Their ankle not comfortable for her. Kalfus is so quick over the sand normally, and she's just a little bit static during this point at the moment. She's not taking an injury sub, but she's not running comfortably either, as you see Fink now again for the Germans. Kalfus to the disc now. Strong handler, but Ruvitel cutting up the line. Beautiful disc from Kalfus. Sends it deep into the end zone. It's going to hang up nicely for the Germans. She's going to lay it, but not quite enough.
Ru has had trouble with both his long upwind puts this game, but he should probably rein that in soon and really get it back, because he's quite a good thrower.
It wasn't a bad shout into the end zone there. He got it in ahead of the receiver. It was number 11 there, Yanni Lepthin. But the disc goes to the ground again. Pressure from the German defense. Alexander Wurst in the 21 shirt, managing to prevent the USA advancing downwind. And again, we're going to see the wind playing a big factor in this game. It's lessened a little bit. The sun is out again, but it's still very, very strong. Ruvitel now. And he's leapt in there. Great inside out, great crossfield pass. Sidearm to Fink. He dumps it back now. Wurst into the end zone. It's Fink, scores for the Germans straight away. Their offense scores upwind, and this is a big break for the Germans at the start of this mixed final.
That's huge. It wasn't straight away, actually. There were quite a bit of turns in between from both sides, but they did get the first point, and it was an upwind score. So that's a very, very big coup for the Germans.
Oh yes, by no means a clean offensive point. Sorry, if you were given the impression that was clinical, it certainly wasn't. It was scrappy. But the USA, getting the turns, applying the pressure to the Germans, and not taking advantage of those. And as we said before, this German offense doesn't give you many opportunities. You really do have to take the ones they do give you.
On the line right now for the Americans, we've got Mike Prof McGurk, Steve Dugan of the Condors in Santa Barbara, well-known name, Tyler Grant from Revolver, June, whose last name I can't say, from San Francisco and Zeitgeist, and Anchi Tsu from Berkeley.
The Americans having to take a disc down early. And there's pressure. Grant cutting deep. He's just a little bit beyond him. Rob Schumacher in hot pursuit.
It was a hard throw, but Tyler Grant is one of the best receivers out there, and so he decided to give it a try.
Yeah, you got to back your receivers, but straight away, the USA going to that deep disc upwind, and Mel's Lock clapping her hands above her head, some sort of signal to the rest of her team. They shape up now. You see the 15 shirt of Schulenberg. Schumacher, nice disc to Zlock, perfectly weighted downwind. Sprung cutting. It's not sprung cutting, it's the 22 shirt.
Mel, that's Mel from originally of the UK.
So it was Sprunk in the end zone there. Daniela Sprunk in the 22 shirt.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Number 3 is who's Mel.
And it's Anchi Tsu, the 32 shirt for the USA, marking Mel Zlock with the disc and the Pete cap. Disc in. Zlock floats it. It's going to be Schumacher underneath it. Grant bidding as well, but Schumacher brings her down for Germany. They take a 2-0 lead at the start of this mixed final. Scoring the upwind, a beautifully weighted disc from Mel Zlock. Backhand, inside out, floated it down breeze. A very, very difficult throw to do in this pressure.
A difficult throw, and not one that many throwers who know Tyler Grant would try to put up above Tyler Grant, as he is one of the better players in the end zone. However, Mel had a great throw. She's also the beloved of Ru, the captain of the team. So
she is indeed, yeah. And Schumacher, Schumacher's had an interesting year, ultimate-wise. He's currently living in the UK and was able to play his European Championships with the Great Britain side. For beach, he's opted to play with his native Germany. And the disc going up big for the USA, advancing down pitch now. Big pressure from the number 2 shirt German Annika Perrin, but a complaint.
And Sally Mims calling the foul. Sally Mims plays with Mischief in the Bay Area, a strong mixed team from the Bay Area. Called the foul.
And we saw
the crowd doesn't like it.
The crowd getting involved in a lot of the calls towards the end of the game. And
in the women's team?
In the women's game, in the final closing match last night, Mims comes up with a disc now. They've resolved that one. She sends it deep. It's going to be pressure from the Germans, but it's not enough to stop the disc, and it goes over the head. And it's Greg
Marliarv.
Another call on the play. It's not a.
And now the Germans might call it back.
Is it Mims has called a travel on the throw, maybe? Or is it a complaint about the receiving? I'm not sure if...
I think what he's saying is that the receiver had not gone back to where he was when the foul was called.
So
I think that was it.
A violation from the number 9. Is it Greg
Marliarv from the Polar Bears in the San Francisco Bay Area mixed team.
And the 79 shirt, Daniel Zumstein, for Germany calling that a violation. Disc 9 back to the USA. Floaty disc, beautifully timed disc to Mims. Mims sends it into the end zone. Grant's bidding on that one. He just chases it down. The acceleration of Grant over this surface is enough to take him away from the hard pursuing Fink. And Grant scores the downwind point for the USA. But the Germans, with a 2-1 lead, they have an upwind and a break. But I think the wind is going to be a big factor in this game.
It seems to be a lot better, though, than the last game. It seems to be less constant.
Yeah. And the stands to the side of the pitch not having too much of an effect because the wind is just barreling down the beach and being funneled by the two stands either side. But whereas the wind before was slightly coming off the sea, now it's not so much. And the shelter that the stand was providing has been eliminated somewhat. But close game already. Both teams looking strong and capable of taking down the big discs necessary to win this game. But do they have the patience and the skills to do so? As we see Carolina on the far side of the German offensive line. Not many players options deep at the moment, but number 12 cutting hard. Has to send it down pitch. Beautifully caught by Kalfus. Now number 12 again, it's Stevenson. Stevenson back to Vittel. Vittel, oh, he'd almost jacked that there, but he decides to put it back away. And a great cut forward from Carolina. She's going to be looking deep. Willits with a strong challenge against her. Back to Stevenson. Stevenson with the blonde hair takes it down. Nice, beautiful disc down pitch to Verst. Verst is going to float it up nicely to Stevenson. He catches, no problem, in the corner of the end zone. He looked like he was running out of energy as he approached that disc, but the Germans putting their downwind point in.
The Germans just looked perfect that point. Really great throws, patience, breaks, everything they needed to do to walk the disc carefully down. You're seeing actually the opposite of what the Austrians were doing, and that was using their same strategy they had used before with the huts, which just weren't working downwind. Here the Germans are not getting lured into the easy downwind throws that are too hard to catch, and instead are working the disc methodically up the field, getting the breaks they need to put it in nicely in the end zone.
Well, they looked a little bit tired towards the end of that point, but we said at the start of this game that this German offense has got a reputation, a well-earned reputation, for not giving the disc up easily. And I don't know, it wasn't counting the passes there, Liz, but it was certainly in the high teens. And in this wind, that's not an easy thing to do against strong USA defense.
It's not an easy thing to do, but sometimes it's the only thing you can do.
Yeah. So USA have already scored one downwind point, but they trail the Germans 3-1 at the moment as Mel Schlock makes a beeline to jump up and down in front of the USA thrower, dodging left and right. No options for the USA. They're going to go for a deep shot again. It's Tyler Grant closing in on it. Oh, he tries to go with his left hand, catching the trailing edge. That was pretty much the only option he had on that hammer disc. Yeah. But the high stall count and pressure from Germany, and there was no undercuts from the two deep USA players. It was Tyler Grant and Liz Willits, who are the two deep players. They didn't come under. They stayed deep and leaving no real option but that deep throw.
No. And Tyler is such a favored target for that deep throw. He's such a great receiver. It's hard for throwers to not want to try to send it to him. But that was a hard throw to get off. That hammer that just kind of dropped off at the end.
It was definitely the emergency get-out disc. Great pressure from the Germans here, and we're going to see them advance again now with Arnie Rausch finding Rob Schumacher. Rausch making a cut up the line now. He's going to swing it instead to the 15 shirt of Schulenberg. Schulenberg pauses, and there's been an incident between Grant and Schumacher.
My bad.
They come back and walk their way back down the back down the pitch.
Some discussion.
It's the 15 shirt of Schulenberg to Schumacher. The 99 shirt and the red cap. Blonde hair waving out. Finds disc right across to Schulenberg again. Schulenberg to Zlock. To Schumacher. Nice flow from the Germans. The sideline having to be cleared at speed there from... And that did take away the first option from Schumacher. Not sure it was on anyway, but he's has moved it out now. Arnie Rausch. Schulenberg again. Rob Schumacher. Cutting deep. And a poach off from the USA. There's going to be... They're short-handed now. Finds a disc, and Sprunk could have gone deep and got away from her defender, but there's a poor disc floating high in the sky. Grant's underneath it, and he doesn't have to do much to get position and stop Daniela Sprunk from catching that one. The USA have the disc back again, and it's Michael
McGurk.
Michael McGarrick. Thank you, Liz.
Played in Spain and Italy, and it's expensive.
So McGarrick with the headband, looking to find some space. A great disc out through the middle of the pitch. Mel Zlock again trying to find a poach in the middle of the lane. She comes back now to cover Willits, who has the disc. Willits, little poke back, the backhand. Didn't time to switch around, and McGarrick floats the disc out. It's beautifully placed from McGarrick into the space. And it's a blast down the pitch. Tyler Grant with no work to do at all. Beautifully played is Anchi Su.
Anchi Su with probably the most beautiful downwind throw of the game, I would say. I mean, just lovely.
Yes? There's a little bit of air bounce on that as well.
To Tyler Grant, who was able to toe it in. Perfect little throw. It was good 3/4 of the field and just the right float on it so that Tyler could get it.
And we see the Germans marking under there for a second there, because when the disc did go to Grant, he was so free at the back of the end zone. It didn't look like he'd got up, because the German defenders were fairly stationary as they watched Grant collect that disc. There was no real hard bid on it. Difficult to see from this angle what happened. We were all
I would
looking
guess
at the
that
disc.
they did not know that Anchi had that throw.
It was a great throw.
She's about my height. She's not a tall person. She does not look like a dominant thrower, but she is one of the best female handlers in the game.
So the team's trading a couple of downwind shots each. The Germans still with the advantage of that one upwind point, which could prove so key. But the wind has just eased a little, I would say. It's not blustery as quite as much as it was. And Rue Vittel now, the third handler, to get the disc, and he calls a foul against the hard mark of Sam Rainier. And Rainier says it's coming in on 0. Marvin Horter cutting deep. Is he the option? No, he's not. Turns round, sends it back. And comes Marvin Horter coming back underneath. Double-handed grab from Horter. Nice work. Sends it back to Carolina again. And it's across the pitch to the number 2 shirt of Annika Perrin. Rue Vittel floating this disc to Perrin. He doesn't have to float it. He can just blast it straight in there. The Germans scoring again. No mistakes from this German offensive line. They clap hands. The hard cutting of Marvin Horter going for that deep shot. Coming back under and making himself so available when the reset was required. Efficient stuff from the Germans.
Right. And everything about the Germans are efficient. Even the sideline, whenever a point is scored, they come out, they line up on each side to give support to the new line that's in there. It's really an impressive thing to see.
They're very well organised and they're performing. They really are performing out here in this mixed final from the World Championships of Beach Ultimate. The voices you're listening to are Tom Stiles.
I'm Liz Garfinkel.
And we hope wherever you are, you're watching and enjoying the coverage we're able to bring you. We've got the coverage has been brought to you by Tushar and Rose from I Am Ultimate. They're pressing all the buttons and making sure the captions are arriving. I'd like to thank you to them. Patrick is on the camera from the United Emirates team. We're a bit of a mixed bag. Our technical crew working well together, though. We hope you're enjoying the coverage wherever you are. Tyler Grant now for the USA. Disc across the pitch. That's the 33 shirt of Dugan. Dugan back to Grant. Grant floats the disc beautifully. Oh, no, mistake on the receiver there. It was Lisa Pitt-Kelly.
Yeah, from the young Lisa from...
And Fink now with the disc. Schulenberg. Schulenberg's got no options available. He's going to have to send it back to Fink, and he does. And Fink now, again, no options from him. Schulenberg is the only one making himself available. Hard bid from Grant, but Schulenberg seemed to have the position to get that disc. He's called a strip. Grant's no contest, so it's Schulenberg's disc. Nice to see that sorted out, and the crowd appreciating some good spirit. No contest from Grant with that one, but the Germans need to seem to get some cuts opening up, because the USA defense closing down the ones that do arrive, and Fink going deep now. Schulenberg got him as an option, but a problem with Dugan, and he's bringing his German counterpart back. It was Daniel Zumstein setting off a little bit too soon. And Kolniak, the 11 shirt for USA, trying to mark up Fink as he goes deep. Fink's gone deep now. Zumstein trying to find the pivot out. Kalfus cutting down the line now. Great grab from Kalfus, keeps her feet in just inside the end, just inside the side of the pitch. He's going to have to laser that disc across to Fink in the middle. Oh, he's going to float it. It's caught to the wind a little bit. Grant's going to bid on this too hard. Oh, he grabs it. Oh, Grant painting the bottom of the disc as Schulenberg gets the grab. It was Fink with the supplying after the disc from Kalfus found him open in the middle of the field. And again, the Germans scoring upwind and not giving this disc up easily to the USA defense. Not
at all. And if they're scoring this easily over Tyler Grant, the Americans might have a hard road ahead, because he's one of the best receivers out there. He's one of the best end zone players that they have, and definitely going to be a struggle if this isn't working out for them.
Well, I was having a look at the German stats throughout the week, and one of the things you notice, and it's something I quite often look for on the stats, is how evenly balanced the stats are across the team. And the Germans, they've obviously got some players that are scoring more than others, but generally it's a fairly evenly balanced team. They've got a decent number of goals from all sorts of different players.
Right. Although those stats with just the assists and the goals, it's a really small portion of the picture, because the handlers are not involved at all in that situation generally.
Yes, you're going to see, and no one marks out, no one gets any stats for layout blocks, do they?
No, or for just making the nice passes up the field to the cutter who gets it and makes the assist to the other cutter who scores.
64 is Mike McGarrick. Ansi Chu.
Brilliant beautiful
disc
break.
Across the pitch. And she's cutting again. But McGarrick with a difficult disc to collect from the floor. The mistake from the handler, Adam Ratti. And calmly approaching the disc. It's the Germans looking to capitalise on that second upwind score with a downwind one to match. Zlock has it now. She's got no options. Schumacher's coming back for the dump, faking left and right, but she's going to have to send that nice emergency break. And it's Schumacher in the end zone for the score. The Germans have done it. They've scored downwind. There's a great cut from Arnie Rausch there. Just as Mel Zlock's stall count was getting pretty high, Rausch came and made himself available for the swing. And a nice cut from Rob Schumacher in the corner to...
and Germany's running away with it. Mel was my teammate at the Peace Team in 2007 in Brazil.
Oh, very nice.
We played together on the Peace Team, which was an international team, somewhat like Courier Island, but a whole separate thing. It was started by by Alia Ayub and I am spacing Jameen Patel, Indian and Pakistani natives living in the UK, who started this team as the idea of bringing international peace. And so it was an international team that got to play Brazil.
That's very cool.
Sorry.
So that was 2007 in
Brazil
Brazil when the last World Championships of Beach Ultimate was held.
Exactly.
And a much smaller tournament there. There's only 300 players.
Completely different feeling. A very, very different tournament. But both tournaments, wonderful. Brazil was very intimate. I think I remember every single person who was there.
Yeah. And the crowd at the top of the stand, they got their shirts off, so it's difficult to tell what nation they are, but from the chanting it seems like they're supporting the Germans. And there's a lot of German tourists in the resort of Lignano Sabbiadoro. You only have to walk down to the high street at night, and every menu is in 2 languages, Italian and German. So it's clearly a popular resort.
And Mel playing on this German team. Mel is actually from the UK, but she was a strong player there, and she's really been an asset to Germany, thanks to Rue for bringing her over.
The crowd somewhat torn here because the USA have been in all 6 finals. The crowd's sort of natural instinct is to go for the underdog, but now that they're 4 points back, it's evening up a little bit. Still support for the Germans, but a little bit more support for the US maybe than there has been previously. Wherever you are, we hope you're enjoying the coverage we're able to bring you from the beaches. And great disc from Schulenberg. It floats, it's going to drift outside the side of the pitch. Unlucky from Schulenberg. He put a little bit of IO on that to try and control it against the wind, but the wind coming off the sea just enough to push it out of the side of the pitch, and it's going to be brought to the middle and walked forward the 10 paces. They do have marks on one of the tapes down the side of the pitch to indicate where the brick point should be, but most of the players preferring to walk it up. And the USA, and it's a zone from the Germans. Or
we were expecting this to come out at some point.
Yeah, it's strange that it's come at this point. Pitt Caithley went out, and swing back to Kolniak. Nice space to Mims down the line. It's Pitt Caithley's gone. She's going to get a floaty disc over the top. Beautiful disc from Mims. Floated it downwind perfectly, and that German zone being carved open by some very patient offense from the USA, and some lovely downwind discs from Mims to Pitt Caithley in the end zone.
The US women are really proving to be a major factor in this game. They're the ones who have been both the last 2 points, both thrown scores, assists by women. The really great handling and break marks across the field from Anchi. I think at the moment they're carrying the team.
It's interesting how the zone defense changes the way a mixed team plays, because normally when you're marking man-man, it's a girl marking a girl and a guy marking a guy. But when the zone comes on, everyone sort of evens things out a bit, and the ladies can play a much more active part in handling and moving the disc, and they make great sort of little pop cuts, quick changes of direction, and we're going to see the Germans starting from the sunny end of the pitch. In fact, the whole pitch is bathed in beautiful light now. We've seen a couple of fairly major-looking clouds drift overhead. We're all staying dry at the moment.
The storm seems to have mostly passed. The wind might be dying down soon. By storm, I mean the very dark clouds. There was actually not any rain.
Don't think for a minute that you need to feel sorry for us. As the German disc goes up, it's Fink underneath it. Tyler Grant chasing that down, but it's a little bit too big. Again, we see somebody misjudging one of these downwind discs. And the USA with an opportunity now. The Germans so clinical on offense so far, but they've given the disc to the USA. They've got an opportunity to score against the German offense and to score upwind. Let's see if they can do that and how they're going to do that. And it's Grant with a disc that comes out of the very, very low release point underneath Fink's arm.
Did not get to the receiver, Errol Yildiz.
Errol Yildiz.
Yeah, Errol's one of the few players. Errol played on the team that won the gold in Brazil. He has not been playing club lately. He has retired from grass, and there aren't a lot of beach opportunities in California other than pickup.
But a deep shot now for the Germans, and Anchi Su not seeing the fact that her German counterpart Janne Lepthin had made an early cut. He was making up ground, and if that disc had been accurate, it would have been an easy score for the Germans. As it is, we see another problem with the downwind shots being it's very difficult to dial that in. Tyler Grant accelerating quickly across the sand. Fink unable to keep up, but now he's got no options. The undercuts from the Americans drying up, but there's one just when he needs it. He sends it, it's going to be flapping around in the wind. It's going to be well read. Yildiz brilliantly reading that disc as it caught the wind. It was a hard throw. It wasn't the most tidy disc he's ever seen, but he read it. He got the right side of his mark, his defender, and brought that disc down. The USA have an upwind score back. They're going to, if they get this downwind, they're going to be back within one of the Germans, and this could be a big turning point for the USA.
Yes, this is coming back from 6-2. We scored two. The US has scored 2 in a row, making it a game again, and you can really see the excitement. I think that the team was going to get frustrated, but they never called a timeout, surprisingly enough.
No, they didn't, did they? No, they've managed to pull it back into line, and we saw big plays there from Yildiz. And who was who threw that disc, Liz? Did you see who threw that disc?
It was Greg Marliov, who's from the Polar Bears, the mixed team, defending national champion.
I wonder if he apologized.
That disc went 2 different places. It really was going to go right where Errol first started going, and then it went left. And Errol, that's Anchi cheering on this crowd, getting the crowd excited. But anyway, he's such a big guy, he was able to reach out his long arms and get the disc.
Well, maybe he'll buy him a drink to say thank you for catching that tonight. Did it land?
Spectators off the sideline, please.
The disc landing at the side of the end zone. Vittel, Kalfus, the Germans in the white, advancing. Rob Schumacher on the far side of the pitch. Back to Vittel, Kalfus making a nice cut. Mims marking, but Vittel now back for the dump cut. And the Germans stuck inside their own end zone. And Vittel has jacked it. He's jacked it deep. Schumacher's going to be underneath it. But Tyler Grant, look at the turn of pace from Tyler Grant. He goes across the top of 3 of his... he goes across the top of Rob Schumacher.
And no call.
No call. No. Well, you see the turn of pace from Tyler Grant. He really made up the ground. Right. Powerful legs. Big running style.
And he jumped up over 2 people to get the disc. But he got it clean, and they decided not to call disc space or anything because they weren't jumping up, I guess.
And Pith Cathlery was underneath that pile as well, but she's going to be chasing deep now. The Germans, oh, what a great read. It was Annika Perrin who read that disc. Pith Cathlery was made a great deep cut. She had been picked out with a super disc from the far side of the pitch. Mims, I think, the supplier of that. But great read from Annika Perrin. She read it early. She got up. And a little touch into the sand gives the Germans another opportunity to try and get this upwind score. The wind blustering and blowing the flags around the arena here in Italy. Rob Schumacher completely misreads that disc. The disc goes between his hands. We heard lots of contact with the disc, but Mims cutting in the end zone. It's a floaty disc, beautifully timed from Tyler Grant to Mims, making that point, scoring their downwind. And they have brought it back within 1 of the German lead.
That's a really exciting comeback from the Americans. And I think Tyler Grant is pretty much staying in at every single point right now. It looks like he's playing OND. I don't think they're going to be taking him out anytime soon.
No. Well, he's...
oh, I spoke too soon. He is walking off the field.
That's commentator's curse, Liz. You'll get used to that.
No, that's fine. I think you probably needed a break, so I'm glad I helped that happen.
It's great to see such athleticism on this sand, but a mistake from the Germans there. Rob Schumacher letting that disc go between his hands. The wind is causing the disc to rise and fall as it flies. But
and he's been replaced by Adam Ratty, who's also the Polar Bears, number 76. Huge hugely tall, very, very effective defender. So that certainly makes some sense.
The Americans with an unusual tactic here, throwing 6 people on the line. Oh no, Dugan is coming off.
Dugan is one of the captains. I'm sure he had something important to say.
He was just calling, letting his team know what was happening now as we see the number 9 shirt for the USA. It's Greg Moralev. And Carolina choosing to let that disc go to the sand and let her teammates pick up, but the Germans are in trouble immediately. Fink with the disc now, and pressure from the USA gets the turn. They pick up the disc. They're on the edge of the end zone. Can they get this upwind score? The wind is blustering still, and they do. They score it straight away, and the pressure generated by the Germans themselves choosing to not catch the pull. And the Germans calling a timeout after that USA upwind score. The USA leveled up at 6 apiece.
Wow, you can really feel the excitement in the air. There's people excited, people disappointed, but no matter what, you can feel it. This has been a really good comeback. 4 points in a row is very hard in the beach in this wind against the German team. It's a game again.
It absolutely is. It's been a lot of pressure all over the pitch.
Actually, the cheers right now are from a large beach ball being thrown into the stands.
I think Patrick, our cameraman, has got that for you. It's all action down here on the beach. Lovely atmosphere in the stands. And wherever you are watching these games from, I do hope you're enjoying them. They are fingering the guilty man as he knocks the ball out. Give us the ball back is the shout, but I think it's Patrick from the Icelandic Ultimate Federation on the far side of the pitch there, just trying to keep the Aussie ball bouncing around and the Aussie fans in good spirits. And there's lots of players donning jerseys that they've traded at trade night on Thursday. Sometimes they arrange the trade on the trade night and then swap the shirts after the final game, which took place this morning. Let everyone.
Well, it should be interesting to see what happens now that the Americans have their confidence back. The Germans have had their timeout to regroup. It's back to 6-6 as if the game is starting all over again.
It was almost as though the Germans showed their first sign of nerves at the start of that game, at the start of that point, not collecting the pull. And it immediately put them under pressure. The USA quick to realise and capitalise on that mistake. So 6 apiece. It's an upwind downwind game. Both teams scoring twice upwind. And the other 4 points coming from the downwind passes. But neither way is an easy option at the moment. The wind is dropping a little bit as you see a huge raking hammer trying to do the same thing to the Germans, make it difficult to catch. But the discs arrived very quickly, and it's Wurst now in the 21 shirt to Kalfus. This German offense looking more efficient, and it's Alexander Wurst.
Oh,
can't quite reach that disc from Rubitel, just as I was saying how smooth they were looking. And clear the line is the shout as we see
Adam Ratty picking up the disc.
Adam Ratty with the Stars red and blue headband on. He's looking for options. Keithley's cutting. He has to send it across the pitch to Rainier. Rainier's got Tyler Grant. Beautiful cut from Tyler Grant. Fakes one way. Marvin Horter couldn't keep with him. He's got... Oh, beautiful pass from Tyler Grant. Lisa Keithley making herself available. Great play from the USA. They capitalise on that upwind score with a downwind of their own. The Germans unable to maintain their clean offensive record. And they take the lead, the USA, for the first time in this game. They've been in the mire at times, but they've pulled themselves out of it. A real show of determination and strength from the Stars and Stripes. And they lead 7-6.
It's a very exciting comeback. And, I don't know how the crowd feels about it, given the preference for the underdog, which I thought maybe they thought was Germany. Although at the beginning of half of this game, you certainly wouldn't have thought they were the underdog. And now
they played their way into the respect of the USA team. With some really, really strong players. And yes, the mixed division is the only division, one of 2 divisions which is big enough to have 2 pools. All the other divisions playing a sort of single pool format. And so that means that these teams haven't seen each other play so far, but I'm sure they've been out scouting. And this disc is going to hang long and high. It floats. It's Well, the whole defense, the whole
Kind
pitch
of a
is set up
crazy
when that
pull
disc
there.
comes down. Not a deep disc, but and Carolina from the German women's team playing a German mix on the sand. Schulenberg with a disc deep. It's going to be Kalfos underneath it, but a misread from everyone in the end zone. Fink and Kalfos were the two German options. Kolinek and who's the 82 player for USA? And it's
Anchi Su.
The crowd cheering defense, wanting the Germans to get the disc back off the USA. A threat to score deep upwind here would be a big blow for the Germans. Tyler Grant absolutely jacks it, leans back hard into that disc. It's going to be chased down by two American offensive attackers, and they take the disc down.
The two cutting women collided, but Sally Mims comes up with the disc.
What a disc from Tyler Grant. He leant down low. He absolutely put his full arm into that. The wind not able to push it out as we've seen other discs go this time.
No, because it went straight. It was an upwind throw, and it just floated on the light upwind that we're having at the moment. So it just got carried up into the wind, waited there for the two women to get there both at the same exact time, but Sally Mims pulled it down.
And Sally Mims both providing the receiving options for Grant. And they managed to get so free of their German counterparts as well. Did we see the Germans marking under again there?
Yeah, and also what we're seeing there, we're having Tyler and Marliar, two large American players, male players, back as the handlers. Mims and Anchi, traditional handlers, are cutting. But I think that whole point is to get those tall, really tall Germans out of the way, out of the deep area, so that something like that, which just happened.
Okay, so the USA relying on the strength of their deep receivers, their female deep receivers.
Who are normally female handlers.
And normally female handlers, but they're both great athletes and proving it just then. That smart switch up, tactically using the players, using the squad they've got. And again, we see a disc. This time it rolls out of the back, but it's going to cause problems for the Germans. The USA have already seen how if the Germans can't, if the USA manage to set up their defense before the Germans pick up the disc.
And here the Germans are doing the same thing. They're putting the women downfield and the three tall men handling back.
Fink now the disc. Vittel, he's looking to jack it. He does jack it, but it's not a good disc from Vittel. It's going to go wide out the side of the pitch.
Same good upwind throw, unfortunately.
And the USA with an opportunity to score. Again, the downwind option for them now. They've put one in they've put three in upwind now. And they lead the Germans, the USA, with a real show of strength. 8-6 is the score. And if they put this downwind point in, 5 minutes before the time cap goes on, it's going to see a big disc here. We're going to see, great grab from the 76 player for the USA.
From
He's got a lot
Anorati.
of, I think he's got sand in his eye.
Sand is crazy here right now.
The sand is very dusty out here. It's extremely dry. Adam Ratti getting the sand in his eyes, and I'm not sure he's going to be able to get it out without some water.
Oh, and the German player offering to give him water, but he did not take it.
But yeah, it's the sand is very dusty and very, very fine. It's quite firm out here on the Discraft Beach Arena. You see Tyler Grant subbing in, Fink marking, hands low, hands high, trying to stop anything from Grant, but Horter is the first to that disc. Not a great option from Grant, and Fink now looking for the deep shot. Is going to float. Marvin Horter with the defense and the happiness in the end zone. Marvelous Marvin brings it down for the Germans. They score upwind. They get another point back against the USA. The USA still leading, but it's 8-7.
Really
what a great game.
What
a great game, Liz.
I'm all tingly. This is...
Was that a handling error from Grant, or
yeah,
the receiver started to go deep
Grant
again?
came in after Ratty came out with the sand in his eyes. Grant came in to replace him, and it was he did the easy pass, but I don't know if he didn't notice that the German player was fronting a bit or what. But the German player was able to easily step in and pick up that disc.
Yeah, and the confidence seeming to flow through the German line again during that point. Horter with the great D block. And then making the movement and flow through the whole as the German going to pull again now. But great play from Marvin Horter. And the USA been given something to think about now as the German team come down pitch with some enthusiasm and a little bit of determination, trying to stop this American side scoring upwind. And in some ways, if the Americans do score upwind, it would kind of nullify that big upwind point from the Germans. So they're mad keen to make sure they can apply the pressure where it counts and use the wind to their advantage. But a big disc goes up. He's not happy with it. Immediate frustration from the handler.
Hospital pass that might be going out of bounds.
If this even stays in pitch, it's everybody's underneath it. It's Rob Schumacher for the Germans.
Literally everybody underneath it. Everyone except the thrower and his defender were under that disc. There were 8 people under that disc.
Yeah, a proper hospital pass there from Maralev. And it's Schumacher's going to have to chase down hard, but it's a mistake from number 19 for the German team, Arnie Rausch. Americans back with in the ascendancy, looking to score upwind. Tyler Grant, he's got the disc. He's got options. It's Ansi Sue. She's looking for options, but she's got nothing on the cuts. Dry up the pressure from the Germans. Rob Schumacher with a great layout block. Nothing coming for Anchi Sue. She had nothing to throw at
all. She
had
nothing at all. The Germans were smothering defense, and the dump defender there, number 99, had completely shut down Tyler Grant for the dump.
And he's gone deep again now. Schumacher's going to be marked by Grant. But Rob Schumacher, double happiness for the Germans again with a foul.
And it's another tied game. Foul call.
Foul called, Liz.
Foul call. It's coming back.
It's funny. A lot of the crowd booing, and a couple of Americans standing up giving the travel sign.
and a few Germans also asking the crowd not to boo.
Yes. We don't want to hear booing. We'd like everyone to be calm and let the decisions be settled on the pitch. But we saw Rob Schumacher take down that big disc.
It was a pretty exciting moment. We'll see what happens as Malyarov is getting ready to tap back the disc in.
And Arnie Rausch again. Schumacher making another strong cut. Tyler Grant this time trying to get that layout block, but he's not quick enough. Mel's lock, unable to keep that disc alive as the disc from Schumacher was poor, dying at the end. And Maralev now for the USA. Sends it. It's going to be... Rob Schumacher once again.
Schumacher blocked the throw.
Picks up quickly, and he's got clobbered by Maralev on the way through. Just a foul called by Schumacher.
So Germany has the disc back. It's 8-7. They never did get to tie up.
This is going to be a big point. Whoever gets this point is going to have the momentum going into this.
And the time is over. It's in the cap now.
Time is over, so it's going to be the cap being set after this point. It's going to be jacked down to disc. It's still alive for the Germans. It's going to be Daniela Sprunk cutting in Mel's lock on the far side. Sprunk. Oh, it's the point for the Germans. They level it up. It's 8 apiece, and this mixed final is moving into sudden death. It's a game to 9.
Game to 9, scored 8-8. They had no timeouts left. He had nobody down there. It was just the only thing he could do was throw it to the woman who had another woman right on her, and somehow he got it around the mark, and somehow she got it.
It was a great cut from Daniela Sprunk, cutting across. Lisa Pith-Caithley bought hard on that fake and couldn't get back when Daniela Sprunk went back to the line.
But Lisa was tight on her. She barely had any room to be able to get that disc.
You're right, Liz. It was a very, very tight throw.
But they pulled it in. And the crowd is happy about it because this is one hell of a game.
This is a great game. This is a great end to this mixed division. We're watching the mixed final here. The Germans in white have got 8 points. The Americans in blue have got 8 points. Both teams scoring the equal number of points upwind. The USA with an advantage here, though. They're coming downwind. They're on the offense. The Germans are going to have to pull out something incredible on the D. They're going to have to stop the USA scoring downwind, and then they're going to have to put their own upwind point in if they want to take this game. The wind is flapping the flags, and it's a big disc out.
It's an interesting choice for the offensive line. They don't have Anchi Sue in. They do not have Tyler Grant in. Their two most dominant offensive players are not in the game. We've got Professor Mike McGurk picking up the disc. We got Greg Marliarf, who's been solid in this game, and Adam Ratty, who has had some major plays in, and Sally Mims, and June, whose last name I still can't say. Sorry, June.
And the Germans looking to their, it's a bit of a mixed line, but Schallenberg with the Paul who went out, and the USA now starting quickly. Good cuts there from so Ratty's gone deep, but Mims having to lay out right. Fabulous grab by Mims. Deep options not available. Ratty on the break side is going to be floated over the top. It's going to be this, and Ratty brings it down. The USA have won the mixed division.
Wow.
Fabulous disc from Sally Mims to Adam Ratty.
Great play by Sally Mims. She had an amazing layout grab to keep that in play, and then was able to see Adam Ratty in the far corner open just enough to be able to send a perfect throw to him to pull it down. His defender could not get there in time.
It's what the fans wanted to see, a close game. They wanted to see a game decided by a good play, and what better way to see Sally Mims lay out, go full length, grab that disc one-handed, and then have the cool, calm, collected nature to put up the perfect floaty downwind disc to Adam Ratty, who made a great cut.
It really was a great game. I think that the U.S. could not have done anything else to have earned the respect of the crowd at this game. There were no bad calls. There was really strong play. The Germans played extremely well, and it really gave everyone a wonderful, wonderful game. And
it was a very intense game. We saw big Ds from both sides getting horizontal and throwing themselves around and really putting their bodies on the line for the sport and for their teams. But the USA are the ones that have come out on top in the end. But
after going down 4 points,
they were down in the mire at one point.
6-2.
They were 6-2 down. The Germans seemingly scoring upwind without any issue, and their offensive handling very, very smooth. But the USA able to generate the turnovers and able to put them back in. And we look back at that point midway through the game, Liz, where the German offense didn't collect the pull and put themselves under a lot of pressure, and we saw the USA score from, well, without having to do a great deal in that point. That looked like a key point in the game now.
Oh.
But anyway, we send our congratulations to the USA for their win in the mixed division, beating a very strong and very capable German side. But we've had a real spectacle to watch out here, and we're looking forward to the open final, which is coming up next. The Philippines faces the USA.
It should be another exciting match.
Well, the Philippines are a great side. They come, a lot of them, from the island of Boracay. They started playing Ultimate about 8 years ago when a bunch of dragon boats. That's what they do. They do the dragon boats.
My brother is a dragon boat competitor.
They're dragon boat rowers normally, and they decided to try their hand at Ultimate Frisbee when it was introduced to their island. And now they... hence the name Boracay Dragons.
Exactly.
So they've come over here. They're a very, very popular team with the crowd, as we've got a streaking tiger going down the pitch, which I don't think our cameraman Patrick's picked that one up.
Wow, that was quite a game. I don't know what to say. I feel like I actually wanted Germany to win. Now, all you viewers at home, don't get mad at me, just because they were performed so well at the beginning, and there's so much resentment, I think, about the Americans dominating, and I wanted one for Europe, I think, to show them back. But then again, this American team coming back from behind really got me excited too, and I'm torn. Do I go to my country where I'm from, or do I go to Europe, which I love and which has adopted me as well? And it was an exciting game, and that's all I can hope for. It's for Ultimate, the love of Ultimate, and that was what happened here. We had beautiful Ultimate on the pitch, and the team came back from behind and won.
I think it was a great showcase of the sport there under the sunshine on the Italian beaches from Lignano Sabbiadoro. The Discraft Beach Arena has borne witness to a fantastic mixed final. USA coming out on top by 1 point in a sudden death game against Germany. I think everyone that saw this game will remember it for its athleticism, for its closely contested bids, for its skill, and for the clean way in which it was conducted and won by the USA. It was a great spectacle for everyone involved. We're going to take a short break now while we introduce the teams for the open division and let the mixed players have their moment. And I think the Masters guys are going to have their medal ceremony in the meanwhile. So we'll try and leave the microphones on so you can hear what's going on. But for the moment, my name's Tom Stiles.
I'm Liz Garfinkel.
And we hope you join us in about 10 minutes' time when we'll be getting the Open final build-up for the USA versus the Philippines.